Excited, obviously. The whole hockey world is. So Stanley Cup Final, Game 7, looking forward to it. I said it last night, may the best team win. Got to put your best foot forward now.
Is there anything you do differently as a coach when you look at a Game 7?
No, we're going to try to stick to our routine. We've had this 3 days off, or whatever, 2 days in between stretch here now, so we're off today. We'll practice tomorrow and optional Wednesday morning. Say a few things. I'm sure our leadership group will have a few things to say to the younger guys and everybody really, and be ready to go.
As a self-noted sports fan, does it resonate with you just kind of this recent run that Boston sports has had the last even 10 months and going back further? Are you still trying to stay in the bubble of your own?
Well, it has. I mean, I've been able to reach out to the coaches in the area, what they've done during their playoff runs, or anything you can take. As much as anything, it's nice to build a friendship with similar jobs and a great sports market. So, time to do our part.
Players have talked a lot about being a family, and especially Charlie last night was really talking about how they didn't want this to end. I mean, just as a coaching staff, how much pride do you take in the fact that they talk like that and that they feel that way about each other?
Well, I mean, the culture's been here. I think, again, I'll credit the veteran guys that have established that. We've built off it. We've tried to incorporate some of that's the way the league's gone. Some more younger players than maybe typically you would. So you're going to have to bring those guys in. They can't be outsiders. I think Z's said it best when he said there's no rookies. Everyone's treated the same. You're part of the group, family. So for me, it's great. I think we've done our part to build that part of it. But again, I think it's the older guys, the way they've run their dressing room, that's helped the most.
Bruce, after the game, a lot of the players were talking about Patrice had a speech for them, really moved them. Did you know that Patrice was going to give that speech? Did he give you a heads up that he had something special to say?
No, he typically, they'll it's their room. We have a structured time. Coaches go in. If it's a 7 o'clock game at 5:30, we're probably not spending more than 5 or 7 minutes with them, ever. So they have the floor. They have lots of time, so they didn't declare anything with me. It's their room.
Coach, the hindsight's 20/20, but Carson Kuhlman's looking like a pretty good choice on your part. What do you like about the kid?
Good motor, responsible player. He's a mature kid for his age, even though he's only been a pro for a year. So I didn't think the magnitude of the game would bother him. I think we figured he'd just go out and play his game. He did. We got a goal. That's great. We need secondary scoring. But I think just his overall play really, helped that line be successful. They were all good. Kretsch, DeBrus, so he was part of that. But one of the things we have liked about him, if he misses some shifts, he doesn't lose that motor. And that's hard for some guys to get it back. And that's part of his job. Sometimes he will sit for stretches, and we still want him to be able to keep his game in his legs, and he did.
Will we see more of him, you think?
Will we see more of him? Yeah, he's going to stay in the Game 7. That's the plan. I'll let you know on Wednesday morning, but that's the plan.
Any other changes possible?
Some of it will depend on Grzelcic's health. He has not been cleared yet. If he does, then we've got a decision making the back end. I'd like to think our forward group will stay the same, but someone could show up the rink tomorrow and change that, but that's probably what we're doing right now.
It was loud last night in St. Louis. What are you expecting Wednesday night?
I expect it'll be loud in Boston. I think every building we've been in has been loud in the playoffs. It's part of the beauty and the reward of playing this time of year, great environments.
Hey Bruce, Tori had said Game 7, a lot of it will come down to which team maintains their composure. Is that something you buy, and how do you deal with it?
I believe it. I do. I think our team has been through these moments. I'm not going to speak to their team. I don't know how they're going to react. I assume they'll play their same game, play hard, but I don't know them as well as I know our group. So our composure, I'm sure, will be there. I think it's dealing with the adversity as well. Who scores first? How do you react to that? I think that's one of the areas that you got to be able to deal with if it's not your team. And then discipline in those little battles. Discipline in your forecheck routes. There's discipline all over the ice, not just the physical part of it, but how you play the game, how you approach it. So I think we have a good group in there that I think that's part of Bertie, what he talked about, how to approach the game without getting too far ahead of yourself or getting in your own way. Just play hockey.
You mentioned
We'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about David Ortiz and what happened to him. Just, has anyone talked about that around the team?
Pickup brought up, it's very unfortunate. I don't know a whole lot about the circumstances, other than I wish him well, and a speedy recovery. And you know, hopefully he's back to health in a hurry. But I don't know, I honestly don't know other than, you know, the ins and outs of it.
You mentioned
The last one.
having been through this before. You guys have been through Game 7 as a team, but you also have guys who were through a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final. How much can that matter? How much do you sort of hope that does matter?
Well, to me it matters a lot because I haven't been through it in the Stanley Cup Final. So the core from Vancouver and the core from Chicago, for that matter, 2013, they didn't want to go through that again last night. It showed who the guys that stepped up to. Could be one of them, Marsh, these guys, they've been through it. So I think it matters a lot in our room. I do believe once the puck drops, I think that, listen, guys want to win. They're not overthinking it generally. I just think it's sometimes in the preparation, if you're not ready to go, that's where the leadership helps the guys a lot. Settle you down an hour and a half before the game, a day before the game, sometimes in game. But I do believe the players, once, like I said, they're used to playing, that's when they're comfortable. I think that's when some of that stuff goes out the window and you just play hockey, and the team that executes the best generally wins.
Thanks, guys.